What's up, and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. This is Season 5, Episode 1, and the title of this episode is What Goes Around Comes Around. Let's start off with Colt. So the start of this episode made me feel extremely uncomfortable. Colt is in the garage working out, looking wacko. And they flash back on Colt's journey with Larissa. He continues to stick to his story and paints himself as this great guy while blaming Larissa for everything. And I think that they all were to blame in that toxic relationship. And I'm talking about Colt, his mama, and Larissa, since his mama was a part of their relationship. He tells his mom that he and Larissa didn't make it a year to their wedding anniversary. Debbie says that it's good to have Larissa gone. And to me, she's really saying that she's just happy to have Colt all to herself and be the only woman there in the house. She doesn't want her son to have his own life apart from her and move on, because when he mentions that he wants to start dating again, her face switches up real quick and she laughs it off, shaking her head, all while saying no over and over and over again. Debbie tells the camera crew that it's way too soon for him to start dating because his heart is still broken. Colt tells her that he's lonely, and Debbie tells her son that she wants him to, be happy in a relationship, but we all know that that's a lie. Colt then gets a notification on his phone to which his mom is looking and, being nosy, trying to see who texts him. She's like, "Who texts you?" It's just too much. And so Colt rushes to the door. He tells the camera crew that his mother doesn't know that he started dating again and that he usually never keeps things from his mother. Colt claims a gorgeous redhead reached out to him named Jess. She's 26 years old and lives in Chicago. Colt says that he met Jess in Vegas when she was visiting with some friends and that they just hit it off. Now, he's flying to Chicago to meet her for the second time, and Jess is Brazilian, okay? So she's Brazilian just like Larissa. She actually lives in Chicago and she's she's staying there under a J1 visa. I think that's what she called it. So it seems like Colt definitely has a type because, again, she's Brazilian. Let's move on to Angela. So the start of this episode was flipping hilarious. Angela is at some dance class looking a mess. The attire, her hair, but what else is new? I don't know what in the world she was trying to prove in that scene, but it was just a hot mess. She did, however, look pretty in her intro pic in the red, where she had like the red dress on and her hair was actually done. If only she would just keep herself up like that, she wouldn't look so bad. Now, where we left off was Michael was waiting on his approval, but he got denied. That's when Angela went to visit their lawyer. He informed her that they recommended a denial, but it wasn't an official denial yet. Angela and Michael are still waiting on the visa letter. She tells her daughter that if it doesn't come through, then she's going to Nigeria to marry Michael there. Angela tells Skyla that she's going with her to be a witness so that they can get married. And her daughter says, no, I'm not. She wants her mom to think things through. She also advises her mom to do research and see a lawyer so she'll know what she's getting into. Angela isn't trying to hear that and gets upset with her daughter. Let's move on to Andrei and Elizabeth. Just when I thought I was safe from seeing this lowlife, here he is. They have moved again, and she's going back to work for her father full time. Do I even need to tell y'all that Andrei still doesn't have a job? He obviously isn't stressed and likes being taken care of by Elizabeth and her father. The father claims that he cut them off, but I don't really know if he actually did. Dude's eyebrows, and we're talking about Andrei, dude's eyebrows are perfectly arched, so he's into self-care, but not taking care of his family and providing for the household. Andrei says right now he's not working and concentrating on being a stay-at-home dad. Now, whatever happened to him, I don't know if he said he was going to get into contracting or driving trucks, or he was putting up flyers so that he can do different jobs for people, like if they needed something fixed in their home, like whatever happened to that. So now he's on this mission to being a stay-at-home dad. Elizabeth says their financial situation hasn't improved, but they're making it work. She feels that they make it work and it helps them save on daycare. My thing is, why can't they switch though? And he work and she stays at home with the baby. I know they have stay-at-home dads, but my problem with Andrei is he never tried. He never really tried. And he doesn't seem to want to get a job. He likes mooching off of Elizabeth and her father, period. They go down memory lane on the first time that they met, and Andrei says something slick out of his mouth like he gave Elizabeth a chance. I'm like, who does he really think that he is? So an update on Andrei and her family, things are still the same. Andrei says that her family doesn't respect his boundaries and that they're always in his business. And I'm like, what business? You don't have any business. You don't have any. So in the next scene, they go to Elizabeth's dad's house because it's his birthday. And Andrei calls himself giving Chuck a toast for his birthday, as well as using that time to announce that her family is invited to a wedding he's organizing in his country. He is really trying to force a wedding there, but has no money to pay for it. And Elizabeth sure doesn't, so guess whose pocket it will be coming out of? Her father's. Hopefully he has put his foot down about cutting them off and not doing things for them, because if they're struggling financially, Andrei needs to flip and step up and get a full-time job. Elizabeth tells the camera crew that they talked about having a second wedding in Moldova, but they haven't planned anything, adding it's way too early to invite people. This dude is talking about in a month or so that they're having this wedding in Moldova. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Let's move on to Larissa. She has community service, and it looks like it consists of cleaning a public bathroom. Now, my nose is super sensitive and I wouldn't be able to handle cleaning a public bathroom because people can be so nasty. Now, Larissa's case is still open, and in a few weeks, she'll have to go back to court one more time. She finished her community service and she's hoping her charges will be reduced. After Larissa left Colt, she gives us a whole list of things that she did to her body, and she basically had every form of plastic cosmetic surgery you can think of. At least it's not as drastic as Darcy and her sister. She still looks like herself to me, but just like, she went on a fitness journey or something. I don't know. You comment down below. Let me know. Do you feel like Larissa still somewhat looks like herself? Now, in the next scene, they show Larissa having a pool party with some of her friends. Larissa tells her friends that she broke up with her last boyfriend, Eric, because he never wanted to be intimate. And she even goes on to compare him to Colt and says that Colt always wanted to. Her friends are real comfortable asking about the size of Colt's stuff, which I wanted to throw up. I'm like, wow. They're pretty straightforward, and does it even matter because Colt is not attractive? So why would you even want to know that information? I don't know. Maybe it was the champagne they were drinking that made them feel that free to pry into her business like that, but that's hecka personal. I just thought it was just too much. Larissa says that she paid for everything with Eric and that he doesn't pay her compliments. I'm like, well, what money? I mean, are you paying him? Is it with the TLC money that you get paid? I just don't understand. How are you paying for everything? Her friend encourages her to get a sugar daddy. Colt canceled her affidavit support, so she is unsure if she'll be able to stay in America or if she'll be deported. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. Okay, so I want to say, here goes the other sorry lowlife, but at least he does have a job. Andrei has nothing, I know. I have to say that Kalani has 3 kids and not just 2, and Asuelu is one of them. He's one of her kids. The interactions are that of a mother and son and not a husband and wife to me. He's not mature or manly enough for me. I'm just saying, that's just my thought. Kalani signed up for that though. I forgot all about him being 7 years younger than her too. Y'all, I was no more good when Kalani picked Asuelu up from preschool. I mean work. I know I wasn't right for that, but yeah, she picked him up from preschool, all right. Okay, let me stop. So she picks him up from work, and once they got home in the driveway, both the boys were screaming in the car, and this dude gets out of the car and heads straight into the house. He doesn't even help her. So she gets both the boys out of the car by herself, puts one on one hip and one on the other. But see, I don't feel bad for her because she allows that kind of behavior. I would have told him, help me get the kids out of the car. This dude went in the house and shut the door behind him as though he drove to work and drove his tail back home and just was by himself. And here comes Kalani with the boys on her hips, struggling to open the door. That was a dang shame. Asuelu hasn't stepped up one bit, but she can rely on her parents though. So they have both moved in with Kalani and Asuelu has the nerve to feel some type of way about it. They're helping and doing what Asuelu should be doing. Kalani sits down and talks to Asuelu to tell him having 2 kids is hard and that she's been doing everything by herself. He has the audacity to tell her that she doesn't watch her kids 24/7. He goes on to tell the camera crew that in Samoa, but he needs to realize that he is in America and both mother and fathers contribute here and put in time with their kids. Angela FaceTime Michael and says that she's on her period. In Samoa, the mother mostly cares for the kids. Kalani says when he gets home from work, he goes to play games and has a social life while she's a mom around the clock. And I'm like, the lies she tells. She shows him a tour of her trashy house. Now, the house is nice on the outside, but when I say trashy, meaning clothes and mess and junk is everywhere. Her bed is not made. It just doesn't look like a home. It's just trash. Angela says that her mom has been sick, and I just think out of respect that she should keep her mom off the show. Asuelu says that he feels he makes 100% contribution to his family and that it really doesn't matter to him anymore about going on dates with his wife. I would have been sent his tail back home. I would have sent him home. It's obvious that she does better without him, and she can do better without him. He's not trying to learn the American way and wants to keep his way of life from Samoa in America, so he should really go back home. Kalani says if Asuelu refuses to change, she doesn't know if she can do this anymore. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Let's go back to Angela. So Angela has bought a new home for her 6 grandkids, mom, and Michael's possible arrival. Angela even says that there's enough space for a baby. I'm like, Angela, not with this, please. Not with this again. Not the one embryo, please. The only baby you'll be having is one you adopt, or if your daughter agrees to have a baby with Michael, because we all know she is not toting nothing. Remember when Angela said that she can tote the baby? She just needs her daughter's egg. So in this scene, while Angela's FaceTiming Michael, he gets a call from his second phone. Now, first off, why does Michael have 2 phones? Angela hears the phone ring and instantly gets an attitude and starts going on talking about it's a special ringtone and questions him who it is for. Now, Michael is trying to plead his case as always, but he can't get a word in. And this dude still wants to come to America to live with her? He's out of his mind. He must like being physically, mentally abused, because I don't see how anybody would stay with her. She's always wanting to argue with him about something, and it'd be the smallest stuff. It's like, dang, dude, like, whew. You better really rethink this, because once you hear, you stuck, buddy. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Let's go back to Larissa. So Larissa lives with her friend Carmen and says that she's grateful for her support. Larissa's worried that this will be her last holiday in the States. So you see in this scene, her and Carmen are making a turkey. Carmen is teaching Larissa how to make a turkey. Larissa has no clue what she's doing. Her friend is like, Larissa says that she can cook all these things, but I've yet to see her cook once in this kitchen. I thought that was hilarious. So the status with immigration, Larissa says it's complicated and that she's going to try and apply for the green card. She's worried that her application will be denied, but her friend Carmen encourages her to fight for what she wants and that it's worth it because she doesn't want to see her go back to Brazil. Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Andrei and Elizabeth. So Elizabeth is questioning why Andrei is bringing this announcement up at this time. And he says, what does it matter because everyone is here? Andrei thinks that he's in charge and what he says goes when he has no money. He's telling her family that he wants to finish things up now because he has a baptism lined up. Like, why is he like this? Because his parents, well, let me say the only person I've met is his dad. His dad seems so sweet and like the total opposite. So where does he get his personality and his ways from? I just don't get it. Andrei tells her family that he will not be flexible with them if they can't make it to Moldova. After telling them 3 weeks prior, though, like, how do you expect people to be ready for a wedding or to fly somewhere like that in a month and they have their own lives, own schedules and families? They all say that the timing is so unrealistic and it makes them worry, how much does he really want them to be there? Elizabeth's brothers are concerned about safety and her father worries about them coming to him to take care of the bill. Elizabeth says that Andrei making her father's birthday about him makes her look bad because the family thinks that she's in on this. Let's just say Elizabeth looks mad annoyed with Andrei. Comment down below your thoughts and let's move on to Colt. So Colt is packing up to go and meet Jess, and Debbie is trying to pry into her grown-tail son's business, as always. She says that she's suspicious. Somebody need to get Debbie a boo because she's just too consumed and too worried about what Colt is doing. Like, he's a grown man. You live together, but still, you should have your own life. She obviously doesn't have that. It's just her, Colt, and them cats. So this woman is lonely and she feels comfortable being so involved in his business. Colt hops a flight to Chicago and says that he wants to make sure that Jess is who she says that she is. Colt is hoping that they'll connect this weekend and says that he really likes her a lot. She obviously likes him too. She's been in America for 1 year on a J1 visa and it's about to expire. So I kind of wonder, is Jess just kind of using him to get on the show to possibly get another visa so she can stay in America? I don't know. What do you think Jess' intentions are with Colt? Do you feel like she is really feeling Colt? Because she was even saying stuff like she loves him. And I'm like, this quick? Like, you really? Okay. So Jess says she likes Colt because he's smart and funny. She likes that he loves cats and they both share their mutual love for cats. Colt says Jess is different from Larissa and is giving him life again. Colt is very bold, but I think this is who he really is. He's really bold with Jess. The way he talks, very bold. Again, like I said, I think this is who his personality is and how he is like when he's typing behind the computer. These are the things that he says because he says to her, would she like to come back to his hotel room to have sex? And Jess doesn't say no. They didn't order food. They just drank beer. Jess tells the camera crew that she loves Colt and that he's her boyfriend now and it's all good for her. That's kind of crazy. These folks are so off. Comment down below your thoughts and let me know what you thought about that scene. Let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. So Asuelu says that he doesn't like that Kalani's parents moved in because now he's not the man of the house. And I'm like, dude, you was never the man of the house. He says that they tell him what to do. Okay. Kalani's father says when he first met Asuelu, he was very skeptical about how he was going to provide for his family, and he's still waiting for him to step it up. Asuelu tells his father-in-law that work has been fine for him, but the work is for, and before he can fill in the rest of the words, Kalani's dad says, a high school kid, and I was no more good. I mean, he does have a job, so I give him props for that. But come on, I'm sure that that's not doing anything for their household. With 2 kids, still in diapers, no way. You selling, you advertising frozen yogurt on a platter, I doubt that that's doing anything for your household. Asuelu says with a part-time job that he doesn't earn a lot of money, and it's really hard for him to get a full-time job because he dropped out of college and doesn't have any experience. Okay, so what are we going to do to change that narrative though? Like, what are we going to do about that? Are we going to go back to school, like, so we can get a trade? Are we going to go to a trade school? What are we going to do? We can't keep riding off of that, oh, because I dropped out and so this is all I can do. Like, those are excuses to me. Asuelu is a child. He's looking up at the apple tree while his father-in-law is trying to talk some sense into him. And Asuelu's been coming home from work, then leaving to go hang out with friends. Her father says that Asuelu is not a man yet. And I agree, because he doesn't have his priorities straight. He looked like a little boy out there with her dad. Asuelu says, I always talk to Kalani and tell her that I go, this is how he said it, that I go play and I come back. Y'all see what I'm saying? Straight up child. His father-in-law says playing time for you is over. When you get married and have a family, that it's a wrap. Asuelu tells him, thank you for your advice and concern. He was trying to be funny in that moment, right? And Kalani's dad says, if he gets concerned, he's going to know it. And the conversation really pisses him off because he has to walk away and go back in the house. He says that he's going to keep an eye on Asuelu, and he's either going to put some hands on him, on that tail, or Asuelu will be sent back home to Samoa. So Samoa, one of those. So comment down below your thoughts on that scene. Let's move on to Larissa. So Larissa says that she received a letter in the mail saying that she has to leave and go back home. She's out of money, so she goes to a coffee shop to call her father for help. She tells her father that Colt is her enemy and wants her deported. She wants her dad to help her with $5,000. And her dad says maybe he can send her half now and the other half later. Now, answer me this, though. Where did Larissa get the money to get all of that plastic surgery, but now needs to borrow $5,000 from her father? Comment down below your thoughts. Let's move on to Angela. I'm convinced that Angela loves to fight for no reason. She says, once you break her trust, that it's hard to get it back. And I'm like, girl, you're that miserable that you want to argue about a ringtone? That's pathetic to me. She now wants to take her daughter's advice to see a lawyer because she's tripping about this ringtone. She says that she doesn't trust Michael. So why on earth is she marrying him? Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move on to Andrei and Elizabeth. So Andrei and Elizabeth get into the car from her father's birthday party, right? And she says that she doesn't want to rush the wedding. And he's like, we don't need to bicker and fight, but just make it happen, right? This is how he talks to her. Why is she so in love with this douchebag? You tell me why. Elizabeth says, how are they going to pay for the wedding? And then he's like, the tradition says the father of the bride needs to pay, and tells her that she's going to go to her father and tell him that he needs to pay for this wedding they want to have in Moldova. He is flipping annoying. He is flipping out of his mind. Oh my God. The nerve of this dude. Okay, the last time we saw them, he was on her, fussing at her, telling her, don't ask your dad for anything. You know, why did you go to him about money and da-da-da-da-da? Stop going to him for money. Stop going to him for help. But now you're telling her to go to her father to front a bill for your wedding in Moldova. He is using this family and that woman. He is using Elizabeth. And that's so unfortunate that she wants to stay with him that bad, that she just doesn't see that. See it for what it is. I mean, there's no shame in his game. He's very upfront and bold about what he feels, what he wants, and how he wants her to do things. So she should clearly see what this situation is. Comment down below your thoughts, and let's move back to Colt. Colt is excited that Jess is going back to his hotel. He tells Jess that she's his girl, and she tells him that he's her boy. Ew. Yeah. So he's rubbing all on her leg, and they're awkwardly kissing. And Colt tells Jess that he didn't tell his mom he was meeting her. And Jess says that she feels bad because she loves Colt and it made her feel as though she's not important. Colt tells her that he's not ready to announce her yet. And Jess takes offense to him not telling his mom, which kind of changes. You can tell it changes the vibe of the night, like it shifts everything with her. And Colt says that he doesn't want to rush into anything and tries to reassure her that she's not just a friend. Jess is turned off and irritated by this point, and Colt says that he's falling hard for Jess and he needs to be careful. So I really need to hear your thoughts on 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. This is season 5, episode 1. Again, the title was What Goes Around Comes Around. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on each one of these couples. Give this video a big thumbs up, letting me know how much you enjoyed the video. Share it with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified on all future uploads. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.